Let's check. 1, 2. Test check. 1, 2. Test check. 1, 2. All right. All right, it is 3 p.m. Central Time, 4 p.m. Eastern Time, and that means it's live from Cabot, Arkansas. It is answering your financial questions live, number 108. If you scroll down on my YouTube page, that's youtube.com/coachstevemoney. If you just scroll down just a little bit for other financial content, you can find the playlist for this stream, answering your financial questions. And again, today is number 108 of those, so there's a lot of those. And those are basically just answering questions, which you'll be hearing shortly. And the music playlist has 9 Ramsey adjacent songs in it, such as You Belong Dead Free, You Belong Dead Free. And the Ramsey Show After Show, and number 378 will be coming up on Tuesday. Gonna do after shows on Tuesday and Thursday, and that's approximately 6 p.m. Eastern Time, right after the Ramsey Show video is over. All right, let's get into the questions. What baby steps should I work on? People have issues somehow. I do not know how. There's the baby steps. And sometimes people can't figure out where they are. They may not want to know. Because, especially if they think they're pretty well off. I mean, you can have $1 million net worth and still be in step 2. If you have non-mortgage debt, that's step 2. And so it doesn't matter if you're a millionaire. You're still on baby step 2. But some people don't like that. So let's see what the problem would be, why they couldn't figure it out. Hi all, newer Dave Ramsey fan here. All right, excellent. Welcome aboard. I just finished my fully funded emergency fund. That's step 3. So if you have debt, you're doing it wrong. I'm wondering if now I invest 15%. Oh no, or start saving intensely for a down payment. Okay, this is actually a good question because it is not spelled out here. Let's finish reading. Some context at graduate schools are working a little less than full time with take-home pay of $3,500 per month. I'm not in a rush to buy a home as I don't know where I will be working or what my full-time job after school will look like. Thank you for any advice. All right, so that's going to be up to you. It's the one time where you get to decide everything about what you're doing on the baby steps. So that assumes that you do have at least $1,000 already. And actually, they finished their step 3, so they have the full emergency fund already and have paid off all debt, all non-mortgage debts, and they don't have a mortgage. After you save the full emergency fund in baby step 3B, not on here, but baby step 3B that's where you save your down payment and your balance between baby step 3B, saving down payment, and baby step 4, investing 15% of your gross income into your retirement. That balance is up to you. So you can actually, if you want to save up a larger down payment faster, you can pause baby step 4 for 2 years. Dave is fine with you doing that. That way you can save up a larger down payment and have a smaller mortgage payment. Of course, Dave's advice is to pay 100% in cash, but he will not yell at you if you take out a mortgage, 15-year fixed, where the mortgage payment is no more than 25% of your take-home pay. Let's see, what else? Yeah, so that is completely up to you. If you're not in a hurry to buy a home, like you said, you don't know where you're working or something, maybe you just start putting a little bit away. Or you can do full, invest the full 15% until you decide that you want to, but you know where you'll be working and you want to buy a house and such. So that gets to be completely up to you. Like I said, if you know you're definitely going to want to buy a house, but also the advice as well is to not be in a rush to buy a home, even if you do know where you will be working. Okay, so say you get a job in a different city, you never live there, you move there, you don't want to buy a house there. You want to live there for a year until you decide job's going to work out and you like the city and you want to stay there and you know what part of the city to live in, and so you're just going to be renting for the first year. But again, you can start putting a little bit into baby step 3B, which is the down payment for a house, as well as, and you do that at the same time as step 4. Use of every dollar. How many of you use every dollar as a budgeting tool? Would you recommend it as or another? I tried it. I didn't like it, and so I went back to my Google Sheet on that. And that does the thing with the spreadsheets. You can make it do whatever you want it to do, except look at like exactly like every dollar. Which I don't know. Maybe you can make it look close, but it's not going to work exactly like an app does. But that's what I did. Every dollar does work great for a lot of people. A lot of people do love it, and it does help them immensely. Pausing baby step 4 to complete baby step 6. All right, so Dave says only do that if you can pay it off in 2 years. Yeah. Is there any time period we're paying off a mortgage in X years? That's 2 years. Is worth pausing retirement investing to get the mortgage cleared. Mortgage could be paid off in 6 years if we redirect the investment amount. So no, that's too long. So you just keep doing the 15%, and anything extra will go to the mortgage, and then you'll be doing retirement and still paying off the house faster than you would if you were just making the minimum mortgage payments. And so this will be keeping employer match retirement scheme. So you're already not going to do the whole thing on that. And so, yeah, I would just do the baby steps like there are planned. Like I said, the only time that you would be able to, that Dave would sign off on something like that is if you could pay the mortgage completely off in 2 years. And so 6 years is too much to not be investing the 15%. And so there you go on that one. Easy question so far today. Big move, 4088. Pay off old 401k loan or convert it to earned income. Had a 31k loan still open when I resigned from a previous job 2 years ago, and they never forced me to pay off the loan and never converted it. I have 33k car loan, 60k student loan. I'm 34. I have a mortgage. I make 180k base now, which is a significant increase than what I was making. Sure. When originally took out the loan, should I consider the 31k as part of my debt snowball and put a smaller amount towards taxes owed, and just close this chapter? And yes, I learned a lesson about 401k loans. That, as far as I know, that's going to be penalties. I think you gotta pay that off in X amount of time. The problem is it is an account that's established like by a law, by a tax law. And so it is governed by that. So I think you may owe penalties and such on it, but yeah, you do still have to pay it back. So that would be part of debt snowball, and maybe even do that one first, since it's government related, even though it's the employer that holds it. But because it is, 401k, what allows you to take that loan is the government law allowing you to do that. But yeah, you definitely got to pay it back. Father Idol, does anyone here have their mortgage as their only account on their credit report? I haven't seen a credit report in forever. But I don't have a mortgage now, so I would not be among that number. What is the issue, I'm wondering? Oh, I am planning to close the credit card. Oh, they're trying to keep the credit score up, apparently, is what they're doing. Why do you need a credit score if you're never going to borrow money? Right, exactly. Dave would ask. My response would be one, as long as I have a mortgage, I have a credit score, and two, having a good credit score is better than right. But Dave says not to worry about it, so you can worry about it if you want to. You can choose to be beholden to the magic FICO score if you would like, but it doesn't matter. You don't need it. So, and you're saying have a good credit score only if you're trying to borrow money. If you're not trying to borrow money, it doesn't matter what your score is. Sir Roberto OH. Is buying a bed something to take out the emergency fund? Well, you got to take it out of the emergency fund, but so me and my wife, that should be my wife and I, are debt free. Okay. We have had to move unexpectedly to another rented place. My question is, do we take money out of our emergency fund for a bed as we currently don't have one? We just have a mattress on the floor right now and have been like this for the past month. I'm saying you cash flow that instead. It's not an emergency. You can sleep on the mattress on the floor. I'm wondering if we should get back the 3 to 6 months of expenses back up first. Oh, what did you use was the moving an emergency too? So you got to get out of the mindset that everything's an emergency, dog. What did you do? Oh, because it was an unexpected move, so it was an emergency. I mean, you got to stop having emergencies. Things be emergencies. So if you are able to sleep on a mattress, you can live like that for a little while until you get actually all you need is a bed frame. You don't need a whole new bed with the frame and everything on it. So let's see, go and get a bed. To be clear, I'm not spending $3K on a bed. I'm saying like a few hundred. Why can't you cash flow that? Keep the replies coming. This is too funny. And they locked it. So probably people, I don't know, people saying he's dumb or something like that. And who knows? Who knows? It's the Reddit. And this same person, Sir Robert O, debt-free but late announcement. Honestly, to be honest, for me, I feel like forgot to make this post, but I'm completely debt-free as of January this year. Great. Couldn't be happier. Thanks for everyone's support while I've been on here. Debt-free Flair. Congratulations on that. Everything is not an emergency. Now, unexpected move. If you had to move the next day, fine, an emergency. If you had 3 months notice, you have time to save up for that. You have time to save up the expenses. And you can save a few hundred in a month. So if you don't have any debt, so you should be able to cash flow that new bed frame. You do not need an entire new bed. DYL, the thrill, pause investments to save for large purchase. That's going to be a no, dog. Hello, I'm trying to save for a traditional ending wedding. And my financee, my fiance and I are going to spend 2 years saving for the wedding. Those Indian weddings, I've heard they can get out of control, dog. To build the fund faster, I was considering pausing my retirement contributions to bulk savings up. Turned 31 in November and currently have 136K in 401K and Roth IRA. What are people's thoughts on this approach? No. No, you don't stop retirement to have a wedding. No matter what your heritage is. You don't have to do a certain amount of money in spending. You can get married without doing all that. And so you just save up the best you can while also doing the 15% of a gross income and keep going. Yeah, we don't have different heritage versions of the baby steps. Mammy Mary, okay, 2020. Single mom, Arizona. I'm 31, single mom to 3 kids in debt. Don't know what to do. Well, you gotta stop spending money and pay it off. I work 26.08 an hour, 90 to 100 hours. Okay, that's a lot of working at my main job. I have a part-time job, PRN job. I don't know what PRN means. That I work 20.47 an hour, 10 to 15 hours bi-weekly. That's a lot of working, dog. It seems like where's the babies? Where's the kids? Are they in school? It seems like the bills are just stacking up and the debt collector calls won't stop. Yep, behind 1 month in rent and 1 payment behind my car. I'm scared my checks are going to get garnished for small personal loans I'm not paying back. Yeah, I have not yet mentioned that my car needs all new 4 tires and my upper control arm needs to be replaced. Everything, yep. Just feel like I'm drowning. I mean, you have no choice. You have to pay off do the 4 walls first. The debt has to wait. You do your 4 walls, and you have to try to get out of it. There's no magic. Rent alone is $1,900. Move down and rent. And that's the cheapest I could find. Does anyone have any suggestions? Maybe you live in too high of a high cost of living area, and you got to do something, but your expenses apparently are way too much, or you just had too much debt. You just got to a point where it was too much debt where you couldn't service it by paying it, by even making minimum payments apparently, and so took out too much debt, and that will happen. So you just have to work as much as you can. Put your expenses down as much as you can. And I mean, $1,900 rent. I mean, it is 3 kids. Can't really have a 1-bedroom apartment, but let's see, 19 for a 2-bedroom, most high, right? Depends on where the person lives. I'm gonna stop paying on the credit card. Yeah, like I'm saying, your 4 walls are your thing, which your main priority, which is shelter, that's the rent, the food, the clothing. Don't buy any clothing unless absolutely 100% necessary, and transportation. So the car, you have to do that, and if you need to get that to get to work. If you don't need that to get to work, then maybe you don't fix it for a little while. And you're behind on that as well. So, I mean, there's not any quick fix. There's not any magic. You have to be able to work to do that, to do the baby steps, to get progress on your financial situation. You do have to have an income. Oh, PRN is as needed. Okay, gotcha. Thank you so much for that. Learn something every day. Even on the Reddit. Let's see. No, that's not what we wanted to do. We wanted to go back to this tab. There we go. 8th CVC, pay off my car at 2.9% interest rate or put the money in an index fund. You pay off the car. It doesn't say invest before step 2. Car debt is step 2. You do step 2. Steps 1, 2, and 3, one at a time in order without doing any of the higher steps. Recently bought a Subaru for $38,000. So if you recently did it and you already knew that Dave was the no debt guy and says no car loans, you pay for cars in cash, and you already knew that, then why are you asking? Why are you asking? Promotional interest rate. Yep. Initially, I was going to pay this off for the first payment. I don't like debt or knowing that I have monthly payments. I don't like debt or knowing I have monthly payments. You put it on monthly payments. Now I know why Caleb Hammer wants to walk off all the time. Of course, I wouldn't walk off. I'm in my apartment, and the person is not here. I'm just reading their post. But I get it. I get it now. So it's like, you know what? It's like, grab the person and go like that. Start thinking logically. People do not do that. I don't like debt or knowing I have monthly payments, but I did this dumb crap that's the opposite of that anyway. Stupid, dumb, stupid. However, I was thinking if I were to take that, I was thinking maybe Dave's been doing this for 30 years, millions of success stories. Maybe I know a plan that's better. Dumb. And invest into the stock market index and fund tracking S&P 500, assuming a growth rate of 9% per year. I would end up with about $53K at the end of the 4 years. Yes, I know markets fluctuate. I wouldn't withdraw it. If it was a down year, my car payments are $844 a month. I don't like debt or knowing I have monthly payments, the person said. All right. People like this are going to do what they want to do, and why they are asking for our opinions, I have no clue, because they're dumb. It's dumb. Illogical, dumb, stupid, all that, to say you don't like debt and knowing you have monthly payments, but you did it anyway. So you had the time to do it correctly, and probably anybody knows anything about Dave Ramsey, if you watched him for half an hour, you know he's the no debt guy. So no excuses. Throwaway 029473723. 23, I guess, years old. Still a baby with 30K debt. How to tackle it? Well, you pay it off. And how you pay things off, people often ask how you pay things off. How you pay things off is you do not spend money on anything else. No non-necessities at all until all the debt is bye-bye and you have the full emergency fund, which is steps 1, 2, and 3. And you do that before you do any investing or saving for a kid's college or paying extra on the mortgage or even getting a mortgage if you have debt. You do not do that. Forthcoming song on how to do the baby steps right. Let's see. Still working on it. Racked up nearly 32. Okay, worth of debt is 23-year-old. Well, why do 30 in the title then? If we know it's 32. Weird. I don't understand people. 23-year-old man in the United States. I'm struggling. Riding the struggle bus. I pay $700 towards $1,400 rent between me and my girlfriend. 'Cause you need to be back in the arms of a good friend. Oh, 'cause honey, believe me, I'd sure love to call you my girlfriend. It's Matthew Sweet from the 90s. Check that out. My income is $1,400 bi-weekly after taxes. Okay. So $2,800. So $700 rent is fine. I have over $19K racked up in credit card debt amongst 7 different cards and have $11,600 balance remaining between 2. Yes, I know. Horrible decision. Loans. Yep. Already knows. My minimum payments at this point are over payments. My minimum payments are #3rd grade, $1,000 alongside my rent being $700. Utilities costing nearly $300. My subscriptions being another $100. Hey, guess what? Drop the subscriptions. That'll give you an extra $100. How about that? And you work more and you spend less. Let's see if there's anything else that changes the standard answer here. Let's see. Another 100. I'm left with seemingly $700 to live. with to manage for groceries, food, and self-spending, which honestly should be zero at this point. It should be. It doesn't sound like it is. I do not own a car. Embarrassing, I know, so at least I do not have payments on that. That's not helping you that much if you are Ubering everywhere, because that's expensive as all get out. I spend so much on food and other things, I've fallen behind to the point we have the problem. This is the problem. Also, apparently living with girlfriend. So that can, in itself, not advised, of course, be married before you live together. But that can also lend itself to extra spending. Like all of it, like all of a sudden, if she goes and gets takeout one night, then you might be expected or feel like you have to do that another night. So not advised. Where were we? So much in food and other things. Yeah, it's to stop spending. Like it's the same advice. You pay debt off by not spending money on other things, necessities only, and that only means enough food to live on. That doesn't mean you spend too much on food like you admit you're doing. Let's see. Ultimately, embarrassing and depressing, asking partner to cover uncertain bills. Yeah, you're doing it wrong. I have another $1,000 racked up in emergency room visits this year, and stay out of the emergency room too if you can. My goodness. I have grown so overwhelmed by the amount of debt I've put on. Yeah, at the beginning of this year, I was at 25K, and in 7 months it's up to 32K. Yeah, that's how it happens. So if you make minimum payments and you keep putting more debt on the cards, that's what's going to happen. It's going to go up. Your minimum payments are not going to pay it off if you keep using the card. You have to stop using the cards. At this rate, I'm just going to be completely dead broke and can't do this anymore. Yeah, it's so bad that I do not want to have to leave my partner and move back in with parents just so I can save an additional $700 a month plus whatever I'd usually spend with her, because I know I'd spend less by myself. Exactly. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah. You do whatever you have to do. If you do have to do that, Dave does not advise adults living with mom and dad. But you need to change up something. And if just being with your partner is causing you to spend more money, then and you can't stop that, you need to get away from partner. Yeah. It's been this is the hardest time of my life. You did all this. You need to think about that before you run up the debt. You need to be intentional with your life and money ahead of time. And that's how you don't get in this position. But now that you are in a position, you do have to tackle it. And again, that's not spending any money. You spend $0 on anything fun. You spend $0 on eating out. You spend $0 on anything the partner does, and that prompts you to spend money as well. You spend zero on non-necessities. APR and everything's like 24%. Yeah, how did you think it was going to go? Really? Just 1 year ago, I had 730 credit score, and now I'm at 596. Nobody cares. It doesn't matter. Even if you had a 730 credit score now, you'd still be in the same exact situation. So credit score is not helping you at this point. Please, someone give some info on how to tackle this debt. I already told you. You don't spend money on anything else, and yeah, get away from partner if you can't control yourself as far as spending, or you feel guilty by not spending as much on fun stuff, or take out food or whatever with partner. Alrighty, Stunning Tomorrow 19 says pay off debt, save for car, or split. Hey all, longtime Dave fan, first time asker. I'm married and been a stay-at-home dad for our 3 kids for 2 years. Wife and I have car loans of 15K and student loans 16K for me and 20K for her. And how did that happen if you're a longtime Dave fan? Was that right before you became a Dave fan? Did you become a Dave fan because you got the car loan and student loans? I mean, it sounds like a long time. It sounds like you were a Dave fan before and just didn't take the advice. And I'm guilty of that myself. So, it can be done, but you just have to do things correctly now. Let's see. Mine will probably have a payment greater than 0 once I start making money. Oh, student loans. I got it. Okay. But she is still in school, so hers is paused. Our second vehicle is a 21-year-old Honda Pilot. Seems to work well, but the age is worrisome. I'm going back to work in August, and it will give us about $900 a month after all expenses, maybe more. Question is should it go all out on the debt? Yeah, Hondas are pretty good. So don't make it a problem, and you can, since it's a second car, you can figure it out with one car. But again, that would be what your emergency fund is. So you should have the $1,000 emergency fund anyway. And so if it's an emergency that you need a second vehicle, if one of the vehicles goes out, then you can use the emergency fund towards another vehicle. But you wouldn't be planning on that. Yeah, just because 21 years old doesn't mean anything, especially with Hondas. I'm told. I'm not a car guy, so I don't know. But yeah, I would just put everything towards the debt, and then if you need a car, then you address it at that time. If it's an emergency with your $1,000 emergency fund, and you cash flow it. And so maybe you do Ubers for a little while, which is more money, of course. But you got to make progress on the baby steps. And so you can't just save for a car and have that money sit there and you never need it while you have debt. Blizz Gamer 15. Oh, yeah. 15. Maybe Blizzard, like World of Warcraft and such, perhaps. Lease buyout want confirmation I'm making the right call. Hello, all relatively new to programming, but I've been paying attention to my finances for the past year, and the only debts I have now are my mortgage and a car lease, which is what I want to talk about. I started to lease a couple years ago, back before I was smart with money. Coming up on lease end and thinking I'm going to buy out the lease. Okay, you can. I have the cash to buy at 8 without dipping in an emergency fund, and it will only take 4 years of no car payments to make up the cash, not including any returns on investments. There's only one issue. Of course there is. The lease is a luxury SUV, albeit an entry level for the brand. Forgive me, I was naive. So the buyout is $27,500 all in. No, I wouldn't do that. Of course, I don't care about cars either. It has 45K miles on it, so it's pretty new in my opinion. Sure. I know I can probably get an SUV that meets my family's needs. Okay, so you don't need an SUV if you have 2 children. Or even 3 children. You do not need an SUV. However, reliability and safety are paramount. Justification station is what that is called there. So I don't want to go too cheap. I like this vehicle. I trust it. And you get to make the decision. You don't have to ask us. Why are you asking us then? I don't get it. So my plan is to see if I will have any fees. Then assess for sure. That's not what they put there. They didn't put assess. But does buying out the lease seem like the right call in your opinion, or think I should eat the end of lease fees and go buy a new to me car in cash for way less? Yes. Yes, also thinking with lease buyout, I have options if I want to sell it or something like that. No, you don't give yourself that option because you will already have the money from where you have the money right now. You said you have the money right now. And so, yeah. So since you have the money right now, you either, if you, it's not what I would advise. I don't think Dave would advise it either. But since you do have the cash, you can do it and keep that car if you want. Again, I don't care about cars, and you do not need, I know, personal experience, you do not need an SUV for 2 children. 2 adults and 2 children can fit in a compact car very, very, very comfortably and safely. So take your justification station somewhere else. But if this is what you want to do, this is what you should do, is use the cash for that and not like get another lease or another car loan or anything like that. But you get to make the decision on that. It's your life and your money. But you did it wrong before with the lease, but say you didn't know, say you were stupid. All right, so you learn from it and you don't do that kind of thing again. You do have the cash, and I'm assuming you make more than, was it 5,400? Actually, whatever it would be, whatever the vehicle is valued at, your amount in anything with wheels and motors in it cannot add up to over half of your annual income. That's also Dave advice as well. But again, if you're going to do it, you're going to do it. If you're going to let your justification stuff stick, people always try to justify things like that. It's got to be safer for the babies. My head hurts. My head hurts and sad. Well, that's not fun. Get some nice Aleve or something. Tylenol. Do I live with my parents or move out? If you're an adult, Dave would like you to move out, sir or madam. Do I stay with parents or move out? Period. Hi guys. Jay graduated. We're making, J is short for just now. These Gen Z kids with the new words. I don't get it. Jay graduated college, and when I was in college, I had my freedom, went out when I could and all that. Sure you did. I'm taking a gap year before med school, and was so certain on taking an apartment in the city. I have a job that pays $43K per year. Okay. Found a place too. But after figuring out rent and other expenses, I have around $1,200 in my hand. Yep. I do plan on visiting my friends in different cities and stuff. I want to spend money is the name of this thing. My parents have said if I stay home, I don't have to spend for anything, and honestly, it does. Again, you can do what you want to. You can also not. You can live your life by not spending the money that makes you have to go back and live with your parents in order to afford it. So, not being able to afford to live by yourself and do that fun stuff means you don't do that fun stuff as an adult. That's what a part of adult is. You want to try to delay that longer and be a kid a little while longer. If you want to do that, you're going to do that. Not the advice. Long jumping middle 855 investing after retirement question. Yes, you can invest after retirement. Have a rollover IRA and want to keep contributing, but the contributions will already be taxed. Already maxed out my Roth. Should I just invest in a brokerage account? You can do that. You can also do a health savings account as an additional option for investing. If you have a high deductible medical insurance plan, you can do an HSA. Let's see, what else would there be? Another thing. Yeah, and then after that, you would go to the brokerage account. Boom. Want to keep contributors will already be taxed. Yep, just brokerage account. Yeah, if you max out your if you run out of options in the tax advantage. Okay, first I said tax advantaged, and then I said I don't know what I said, but it's tax advantaged account that the government has provided for us as part of the Roth portion of the tax law and other parts of the law as well. Aggravating clue 3731, help with backdoor Roth. Does anyone have helpful reading material or good contact that can teach me how converting traditional IRA to Roth IRA each year? The way I understand it, if I'm paying taxes on income and I put that taxed money in a traditional, not taking deduction, and then immediately go and have the financial company direct transfer to a Roth, I would not have any additional tax implications. Is that correct? Yes. Dave opens a new one of those every single year. And that's how you're backdooring into the Roth, and you get the benefits of the no tax on the growth. Yes. Talked to a Randy recommended tax professional, and I still don't understand it. You explained it perfectly. She seems to think we'll be under the cutoff and still be. You could be under the cutoff as well. So look into that as well. But you explained it perfectly, so I don't know what you're having a problem with. No Yogurt 7402 seeking snowball advice. Current debt 35K business loan, 42K student loans, 98K HELOC, all the things. No car debt, that's good. Current situation 1099 contractor, make approx $400,000 a year as of 2 years ago. I know I shouldn't have debt. Yep, and you lose all the audience now. Because you make too much, you make more than they do, and so they don't understand. They can't relate to you, sir. How do you have any problems with $400,000 a year? Long story short, I remodeled my house when I couldn't afford to. Yes, of course. Ouch, what an idiot. Absolutely. So you pay the stupid tax and you get on it. Pay approximately $7K a month in taxes. That's just what you pay because you're a 1099, and so you have to pay them at least quarterly. I don't know about monthly, but okay, so I get it. So yeah, more money is going to be more taxes. I've since found Dave on XM. Excellent. I started that's Sirius XM. Started the Snowball this year. Excellent. Knocked out 3. Wife, dad, myself. Vehicles, approximately $70K. You paid off your dad's vehicle. My situation now is this. I either continue smashing the snowball efforts and owe about $21K more. Yeah. Let's check it out. Let's check out the baby steps just to see. Pay off debts from smallest to largest using the debt snowball method. It doesn't say, but while you still have debt, do something other than that. Pay off debt. Doesn't say that. Let's see. Yep. I knew it. I know about $21K more in taxes at the end. Or invest heavily in solo 401/HSA to avoid said taxes. No. I've done the geek math on it, and investing is the answer. Yeah, well, again, but I know Dave says don't invest until all debt Sam's home is gone. Can you guys give me your advice? You want our advice over somebody that's done this for 30 years and has millions of documented success stories. You want Reddit's advice instead. That means that you just want to do what you want to do, to me. I'd love to hear the continue to pay down debt arguments because I want this crap gone. Apparently not, sir. Apparently not. Illogical. People drive me crazy, man. They are nuts. Of course, I just expect them to be nuts rather than like Caleb Hammer always seems like he's surprised. I mean, that's working for him. Obviously, he's getting all the views, all the views. But you can't be like, oh, I'm gonna walk out. I don't like this. I'm gonna walk out every single time. People are gonna have debt, and of course, they're screened beforehand. People that work there go over their finances beforehand. So I don't know if they let him know, but they go over it, and so should be expected every single time for people to be doing stupid crap with money. That should be expected, and so yeah, I definitely expect it. But also don't want to give the government free money, but interest is money. Thanks. Overthinking it, and you're going to do what you want to do. If you want to do the geek math on it and have investing be the answer while you keep debt around like it's a pet, that can be your life, and you go for it. It's your life and your money, and we don't have to live that life that way. So that's up to you to eventually decide. And you also have to, as a financial advisor, financial coach, you have to accept the fact that most people are not going to take the Ramsey advice. They're just not going to do it because it involves sacrifice, and involves going against the math. Because the problem is the behavior of it. The math didn't cause you to get into all that debt. If so, you didn't do the math right then, so why start doing math right now? Toonsoft 719. Any tips for finding cheap places to rent? Just look in the area. I like apartments.com website. And 2 bedrooms, 17 to 2,000 generally. Occasionally one will pop up for the 15. Yeah, try to sneak into them, but they have wait lists. Sure. What are others doing to help bring down rent? Are you just biting the bullet and paying more than 25%? Well, you try not to. You try to get it down as low as you can. Just keep a lookout when it comes time to renew the lease. And you can check other websites as well, other than you like normally do. You can check all different kinds of websites and such. And also maybe go a little bit further out of the city. Maybe longer commute perhaps to work, but could be significantly cheaper. From _xist, XIST_. What jobs, careers fit my Get Clear assessments? People ask this all the time on here. I have no idea. Let's see. Top 3 talents: discernment, inspection, logic. Top 3 passions are analyzing, researching, and solving. Mission result is efficiency. You would think anything involving numbers, maybe. Accountant. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if Ken must not have a list of jobs that go with that when it gives you the things. Maybe he makes you figure those out on your own since it will be your career. I do not know exactly how that works. Double D double. Can you explain interest math like I'm 5? Keep money in high yield saving account versus pay off car. Yeah, the interest math on that would be, it is possible that you would come out ahead a little bit on money by doing that and stretching out the car payment. But most of the interest that you would be making in the high yield savings account would be offset by the interest you're paying in the car. And so it is really going to be very little. You're delaying getting out of debt and forcing yourself to keep paying interest to make a little bit of profit on interest. And so if you're down with the math like that and you're fine with that, then you can do that. But the advice is to get out of debt completely before investing. So you would not be doing any investing at all while you still have non-mortgage debt and you don't have a full emergency fund. Full emergency fund is before investing as well. Steps 1, 2, and 3 in order, one at a time without doing higher steps, and baby steps 4, 5, and 6 done at the same time as each other if they apply. Eyes like Emerald City. Oh, that's fun. Nice green eyes. I think I know the answer, but I'm asking anyway. All right. Of course you know the answer. What would Dave do? Flare. I'm about to come up on 8K. I have about 35K in. What does come up on 8K? Does that mean like 8K extra money? That I'm not struggling to pay. I'm making the minimum plus a few hundred. Have a mortgage. A, should I just throw the money into the credit card debt? Yes. B, should I throw it on my mortgage? No, that's step 6. You shouldn't be paying extra on your mortgage. C, should I put it into my investment account, i.e. Robinhood, etc.? No, because that's step 4. And you weren't listening when I just did this. Actually, they typed this 7 days ago, a week ago, so they could not have heard me. But what I just said was steps 1, 2, and 3, one at a time without doing any higher steps. So that means no investing at all. That means no extra on mortgage. Not even if it is Robinhood. That is your brokerage. Sadie Star, 24. How to merge finances. Husband and I have been married almost 14 years, but living together 21 since I was 20. Not sure if it's because we had no guidance or if it's just because we were so young, but we never really combined our finances. I think things are okay, but listening to Dave over the past year makes us think things might be better if we fully combined. Yes. Here's how we do it now. We each work full time. We used to make similar amounts. So we split every expense 50-50. Now I make 80 and he makes 60. So I've taken on more, which I'm fine with. We both contribute to 401ks, but not much. Needs to be up once we're out of debt. Yeah, you get out of debt. So each month, total bills. Okay, joint saving. Kid stuff, cut some of the kid stuff probably. People always go overboard on that while they're in debt. You need to chill out on that. You can spend all the time in the world you want with them. Doesn't mean you have to spend money. Plus some for joint savings. You don't have any other savings than the $1,000 emergency fund. The baby steps are right here for your convenience. And we each transfer our share into our joint account for the joint savings. You would not have that. You would just have $1,000 between the two of you. So that's just $500 each. The bill would get paid out of that. Whatever's left over is just ours separately. I spend extra on extra stuff like kid clothing, birthdays, etc. because I make more. And you should stop doing that too. Because you don't spend more just because you make more. That's how you get in trouble. And that's how you keep debt around. We might just keep it this way. Yeah, not advised. But if we combine fully, how would it be different? Do you each get an allowance? Yes, whatever you put in the budget for fund money, and that should be limited while you have debt. Does not say, I'm interested to see how much debt there is. How do you handle if one of you thinks you need new towels because yours have holes, but the other one is fine with having holy towels? LOL. So normally that would be the man that's fine with having holy towels. If they dry you, you're fine. Right? Oh no, it's got a little hole in it. If you put the towel on your body, if you run it over your face, for example, running the towel over the face, I like doing that. It's kind of like a ritual kind of thing. Find your center. If you put the towel over your face and then your face is dry, guess what? That is a working towel still. Now, I mean, there's a limit to that, of course. You don't want to do anything crazy like do freezer trash or anything like that. But say you did need a new towel, you go to freaking Walmart and buy it. You don't go to freaking Bed Bath & Beyond and spend $1,000 on them. I'm exaggerating, of course. But if one of you thinks you need new towels, you take that out of your fun money then. If it's fun for you to not have towels with holes in them. Or you put that in the budget. You discuss that as part of the budget. And so, I mean, how you handle it if one of you thinks that you need something, how have you been handling it so far? You just buy it out of your own money? But you would do that how any couple handles any disagreement. You communicate, you compromise, and if that doesn't work, you get counseling. Always. And so, yeah, I mean, that's one of the things that Dave often hears is that he saved people's marriages. Because by forcing you to talk about the money stuff and have budget meetings and so forth like that, you are making conversation happen. You're making communication happen. And so, and because of that, that tends to open up communication in other areas as well. And so Dave does hear that a lot, he says. What about things that cost more for traditional female makeup clothing for me because he wears a uniform hair skincare? Does that come out of your household grocery budget or your allowance? It can come out of wherever you put it in the budget. Just trying to wrap our brains about a different way and how we apply it to our situation. Yeah, it might be rough for you because of the way you think about things. So, but you just do it. All the money would go together. It would be an hour one checking account. We would have $1,000 in our one savings account, and everything else would be put to debt. Did not say what the debt was. And so, also doing it the way you're doing it, also causing the debt payoff to take longer, obviously, because you would have had more knocked out by now if you were doing it together, because there's more smaller debts in general. And so you would have more payments knocked out already. Yeah, so you just have to do it. So you have, like I said, you one checking, one savings, and then you two do the budget and you decide where every dollar goes. Every dollar has a name. And most of that should be debt while you have debt, other than the non-necessities. And again, I mean, if you have 10 towels and you have one that has a hole in it, if you want to throw that one away, throw it away. You doesn't mean you need to buy a replacement. That doesn't mean you need to have matching towels. That's when people get nuts on that stuff. Get matching towel. Matching towels are a step 4 item. Because it's more important to be out of debt. And more important to have a full emergency fund than have a freaking towel that matches. Mike Long, read some of his stuff last weekend. Other posts. What tools or resources online would you use to help improve your finances? You're looking at it, pal. The baby steps. Baby steps. If you have a particular question, you go to the YouTube and you YouTube search Ramsey, and then whatever your issue is, Ramsey investing, and then you watch all the videos on that, and that will do that. Get the books, of course. Total Money Makeover, just been updated, so you can do that as well. Maybe educational content that breaks down tricky topics like saving. It's not tricky. How is saving tricky? I don't get it. I don't get it. How do you save? How do you save? That means you don't spend the money on anything else. And then you put it in an account and then you do not spend it. That's saving. So I don't know why people have a problem with that. Let's see the rest of it just for fun. Even a platform where you can go, where you can get advice and support from others. Well, I mean, this is one. The Reddit is one. Trying to start an interesting conversation to find out what works best for people. Looking forward to hearing your thoughts. You know what works best for people? Been proven millions of times. Millions of success stories documented. Baby steps. Done. Game over. And then drop mic. Unless it's an expensive mic, then you wouldn't want to do that. Grad student 9690 Primus Bank. I believe that's PRIMUS. Checking account with direct deposit is 6%. If annual percentage yearly, average per year for 6 months. I'm wondering if it's worth it and good and fast transfers. How to withdraw in cash? Do they local banks? Do they have local banks? I do not know any of these answers. Generally, though, for just 6 months of that, what's the what would be the? Do you mean APR, annual percentage? No, that might be right. That might be the right abbreviation. So that is just 6% for a year. So basically, that's going to be like if you started it with all the amount of money, that would be the same as being 3%. So, you know, granted, I mean, make all the percent you want to on checking accounts, but it's probably not going to be worth it to change, in my opinion, to change what you're doing now. A lot more trouble, and of course, and that could just be an online bank, and maybe they don't have local branches, and so that's a different thing. So, as far as how to withdraw in cash, no clue. Probably you can do transfers from any financial institution, but how long those take, don't know on that as well. No understanding 6696. Okay to pull back on retirement. Stop retirement to and save for investing to save for second property. That's a no from Dave, dog. Wife and I are looking at options to get the ball rolling on a second property. Might be land, might be a vacation home, might not be what Dave Ramsey would recommend. Might be our next primary home. We're not sure yet. Just want to start saving for it. I'm 35 with current household income of... No, you wouldn't do that. And you wouldn't buy a second property if your first property is not paid off. Let's see if their first property is paid off before they try to be a landlord. Would it be bad, man, to stop my 11% a month? Well, you should be doing 15%, not 11%. Because the 12% that the company contributes is just gravy on the biscuit. You need to be putting 15 in. Oh, and another 500 to the Roth, so that might be 15. Okay. Would it be a bad move to stop by and throw that money into high yield savings account or ETFs, and that was 60 to 70K to use on the property? We would still have the 500 a month in my Roth, and my company's 12, and my wife's contribution. No, Dave's not going to go on that, and if the first property is not completely paid off, that's going to be a no from Dave and myself as well, sir. Sister Einstein. Looking for advice on buying land for cabin. Hi everyone. Does anyone in this sub that can point me to another sub regarding land buying that will be used to build a cabin? if you're done this yourself, you've been study experience. I'm not sure I should try to find an existing one, but they tend to be mobile homes on a campsite. Think condo. Okay, yeah, I don't know anything about any of that. Sorry. Hannah Huhana. Please explain dividend investing to me. I can't see how you can create good income by dividend investing unless you have a large amount of capital to start with. Well, yeah. It starts low, but as you keep investing, the amount in there gets higher, and the dividends come out and they reinvest, and so it gets even higher. Can you explain how much dividends? It depends. It's not a law. It's not in Exxon. Say Exxon, for example. You would look up to whatever their dividends are paying, and that can be different amounts at different times. I just read that, okay, dividend of 95.95 per share, okay? How much would I earn if I owned 10,000 of XOM in 1 year? 0.95 per share. Is that 95 cents? So that's almost $1 per share. So you have to know how much the shares are each. So you don't have enough information. You're missing variables here because your $10,000 worth is X number of shares, and we don't know what that is. Would this be more than if I put 10,000 in a CD at 5? Yes. It would be, because you make whatever the gains are and then also the dividends as well. But you also do not want to be a dividend chaser and make less money overall, because some people get way too happy about the dividends and they're dividend chasing is what I call it, and they're just trying to get the most dividend, but then in the end they end up making less gain overall. And so that's not what you want to do. You want to make the most gain overall regardless of dividends. I've had people say, yeah, people say a lot of things, in case you didn't know. Everybody has an opinion on that, especially in the Ramsey Show chat. And, of course, this lovely subreddit. People say dividend stocks are a good way to create income, but it seems to me that you have to have a lot of money to make anything on. Yeah, you're not going to have it. There's nothing that you're going to do right this second that is going to generate as much money as it will later after it grows a while. And so it's not an instant get rich quick scheme, if that's what you were thinking. So you might want to get maybe Dividends for Dummies, if there's such a book as that, something like that. Because I don't think it means what you think it means. It's from Princess Bride, excellent movie. Educational I 4205, need help with retirement investing for self-employed. I'm self-employed 1099. This year I will make somewhere between 150 to 50K. Know where to start. Should I do a backdoor Roth IRA whether I end up over the limit or not? No, you do a regular one. And then if you make more than that, then you have time to adjust. Like it doesn't matter if you do a backdoor Roth even when you don't make over the 140K-ish limit. Oh, it's 140K and you definitely make that already. So then, yeah, if it's a really good chance, I would say if it's 85% chance even that you are going to make over the limit, then yeah, you go ahead and do a backdoor. Or should I set up the solo 401k so you can have both? Do both. And the Roth would be better because that's tax-free growth. So Roth is going to be prioritized over that. So yeah, you can do both. You can do backdoor Roth and you can do the solo 401k. And that's how you contribute as much as possible. Yep, hopefully well over 7,000. There's something out there Is there someone out there that can maybe message me and coach me through this? I'm so lost. I don't know where to start. We gotta pay if someone offers coaching. I'm sure somebody told him to answer what I just said. Let's see. If not, I'll message him. Let's see. Access capital. More options than you think. Yeah, this person is telling. Bum, 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 bum. Solo 401k. You can have both as far as I know. Separate. You can have both. Bum, ba-dum, bum, bum. Let's see what the Google says. Can you gotta put the fingers in the right spot? Can you have both? What do you say? Solo. Darn it. Solo 401k. I need a lovely assistant to do mine. And SEP IRA. There we go. IRA. Yes, you can contribute both the solo 401k and SEP IRA in the same year. Yay! What about Roth IRA? Yes! Yes! It's so fun to be correct. All right. So yeah, you can do both. And so they did not tell him that. Nobody told him that. Okay. If I remember, I'll get with him later. Matter of fact, I'll write it down. I'll write it down. Where's a pen? There it is. And that would be, what is it? Educational -I. I should pull it up on a search. Cool. All right. Is every dollar down currently 6 days ago? I do not know. If it was or not. Administrative leg. 552, 5% of portfolio in precious metal. Dave says no metals. I read at many places that 5% on your portfolio into precious metals, such as gold or silver, for a hedge. That's a no from Dave, Doug. I always often confused how do I really come up with that 5% number as to what kind of investments I should account. Does is stock, CD mutual funds are also 401k or something else? What? Any kind of investment you have, even a savings account, you could count, I guess, as your total, and then only 5% of that total amount would go into precious metals. If you were going to take that advice, if you're going to read that at many places, do those places have millions of documented success stories? Probably not. So maybe you take Dave's advice instead and don't have to do that math because you're not going to do metals. But if you wanted to, that's how you would figure it out. Basically your total investing assets. And then 5% of that. TBL 34, Roth IRA questions. So I've been putting money in my high yield savings account for the past month or so with plans to open a Roth IRA and max it out. Okay. Wondering if there's a better bank or investor like Vanguard or something to go with. Yeah, you want to go with a brokerage, online brokerage generally, because you have many more options than you do doing it at a bank. Also, does it really matter if I set it to auto deposit in the Roth to save up chunks of money, make a few deposits a year to equal these 7K? Yes, it does matter. Because not only do you have to not just auto deposit it. You can set it for auto deposit, but guess what, pal? You have to actually buy an investment inside the Roth. The Roth itself is not the investment. That's just the account the investment sits in. But no, you should do it out of every single check, and that way you get more growth over time. You do not, and this includes paying off debt and for investing. If you do little bits at a time as you have it, that equals more money than you saving up big chunks and investing it, or saving up big chunks and paying off debt. With the debt payoff, you're saving more interest. If it's the investing, you are making more money by putting in more money faster, even if it is smaller amounts. iLoba, online banks. Hey, hi guys. Looking to open an online savings account for my emergency fund. Anyone have a good online bank they use? I don't. Let's see. My pal Sid likes Ally. You can check bank rate for the biggest high yield savings account, but if it's your emergency fund, the problem with it being online bank is you have to have immediate access to it, because guess what? Emergencies don't wait around 1 to 3 days for that transfer to happen. And so you have to have check writing or debit card access to it immediately. So yeah, it can be a high yield savings account, knock yourself out, but you just have to have immediate access to it. Cleveland, TA, 1983, home buying advice. Okay, well, the first advice, is you do not save the down payment until step 3B. If you're not on step 3B, you do not buy a house. If you already have a house, when you start the baby steps, it depends on your situation, depends on the numbers, whether you should sell it or not. Single, 40 years old, never married, no childrens. Currently rent, but I have $540K in a high yield savings account. Proceeds from the sale of my previous home. Okay. Have around $245K in my 401K as well. Yearly salary is roughly $90K. I'm looking to buy a new home, but not sure how much I should spend. I want to pay cash, but most of the home in my area $500K or more. What will you do, or what do you think Dave would advise? So yearly salary $90K. So unfortunately, that's only going to put you at a $270 mortgage. So you are going to have to. You would take out all the money out of the high yield savings account and buy that house. It still would be. That's the amount, not the amount of house that you should have. That's the amount of amount of mortgage that you should have is the $290. So you could get a mortgage on it, but if you have the cash, you should just spend the cash. But you want to pay cash, but most of the homes in my area, I would not get one of those homes. I would get a cheaper one that fits more in line, because also with a bigger home like that, generally, that's going to add to expenses for the house. Like that's going to be more air conditioning, more heating, that kind of thing. More to decorate, and that's going to make more spending as well. So I would go lower, but you have the money in the high yield savings account. So, and if none of that is your emergency fund, you can spend all that on a house if you want to, but I would beware of the associated costs. What was it, HOA? Home. What does the O stand for? Is it Home Ownership Association? I can't remember what it stands for right now, but HOAs have fees and so forth. Insurance. Let's see what else would be associated. And like I said, just buy a $500,000 home. Then there could be 50 to 100,000 in decorations, depending on the person. So you gotta be careful about that. But since you have the cash, you're allowed to. If you don't have any other debt, that would be it as well. You would have to have all debts paid off. You would have to have a 3 to 6 month emergency fund. If you're going to buy a house, I definitely recommend 6 months investing at the same time. And then you have the cash, so you can buy it, of course. And that is Dave's advice. Number one advice is to pay cash for a house. If you can't do that, he wouldn't yell at you for getting a mortgage in your price range. But the advice is always cash. Flight Bell, TSP, question. I'm on baby step 4 and need some advice. I'm investing 15%. My TSP, which is nowhere near maxing contributions as it was, to diversify and invest in mutual funds. Or should I just put more into my TSP? Thanks for the help. No, a different account is going to be better. So you should do a Roth IRA instead at least and max that out. Because the TSP only has limited things to do, and it's like it's a 3-way split. I think it's like 40, 40, and 20. Which the 20 is international, and I think one of the 40% is the C plan, and the other one's S, I believe. So, but that's easily Googleable for you if you need to find out that information of which plans to invest in TSP. But even better than those would be manage mutual funds inside a Roth IRA, which you can do that as well. DKOSO, 401k and baby steps. Hey everyone, hi guys. If I'm not mistaken, Ramsey says to minimize contributions to retirement and allocate all money towards paying off debt. Not minimize, that means no contributions to the retirement. That being said, my co-panny offers 100% match up to 10% of my income. I feel, for me, in this case, with how large the match is, it would be a good idea to at least keep up to the match. What do you guys think? I wouldn't be surprised if most people said yes, but that's not the advice. And you know darn well it's not. And it's not minimize, it's no contributions. You do steps 1, 2, and 3, of which paying off debt is number 2. And you do not do any higher steps, and higher steps is number 4, and that's investing. And you don't do that until steps 1, 2, and 3 are done separately in order. And once those are done, that is when you do the investing. Scrotus the finger. I can no longer afford to pay my minimum payments and pay essential bills. I'm $45,000 in credit card debt. Already living as lean as possible. Cut more, spend less, work more, work a lot more. Sell crap you have laying around that you bought in that credit card debt that you're not using regularly. Yeah, you got to go scorched earth on this. And work, you got to maybe move down in house or apartment. Maybe sell the car. Move down in car. That is an ad. Almost started reading it. Amazingly made, 444. Should I sell my car to get some traction on my debt? Yeah, that's a great thing to do. That's what this person should do. If any of that is car debt. Oh, that's just credit card debt. So there may be car debt as well. If there is, sell it. If you have a car that's worth a lot of money, sell it and move down in car. Let's see. Should I sell my car to get some traction on my debt? Yeah, and so how you make traction, how you make drastic changes in your financial situation is you take drastic action. And again, selling the car, that's generally not what people are going to want to do. They're going to say, oh, well, this is a new car. It won't break down and it's better. And it's SUV and I have kids and all that stuff. Just excuses, justification. for dumbness. Hey y'all, hi guys. I'm baby step 2 and make about 80K a year. I have about 60K in consumer debt, which includes my car. There's 28K left on the loan. Car payment $737. Yep. Insurance $253. $1,000, babe. $1,000 right there a month. The car I currently have is a 2021. I did the CarMax assessment to sell it, and they will give me around 25K, which I will have to come up with 3K to get the title. Also, that's a dealer. Check private sale on Kelley Blue Book, and maybe you can get the whole 28K from a private buyer. You need to leave companies out of your car transactions as much as possible because they're going to take a bite. They're going to take a bite out of you, what you would get for selling yours, and they take a bite out of by charging additional if you buy it through them. I would also have to take out a small loan to get another car because we only have our starter emergency fund saved. Well, Dave is fine with you taking out a $5,000 loan to get rid of a $28,000 loan. He's fine with you doing that because that lowers your debt by $23,000. That's pretty good, and that is a good chunk, coming up on half of that 60K total debt. I was thinking less than 12K. I'm thinking 5K. Or is that for the loan you're talking about? Getting cheaper car will free up a little money. Yep. And so probably, people don't want to go scorched earth there and go down to the $5,000 or less car. They're talking about, well, I'll go 12 maybe, but she might be talking about that amount of loan, but that's still going to be too much. So if you only need 3 extra, then that means a $9,000 car, and you don't need to buy a $9,000 used car while you would still at that point have over $30,000 in debt. Living Cool 23, baby step 3 Q question, I guess. Hi guys. I'm still in baby step 2, but one of the things that's keeping me motivated is thinking about how much I can / am, not I'm, going to save after I'm done. How much I am going to. Okay. Yeah, it should be am there. Do you restart investing during baby step 3? No, you do not. I can't seem to find that, and I've been binging episodes, but I don't remember hearing that question come up. I'm sure I've missed it. Thanks in advance. Yeah. It's just not, people don't, people never think about, like if I saw this list here, just any kind of list, I'm not assuming, well, let's do them all at the same time. Let's do this one at the same time as this one. By default, you would think this one, done, check. This one, done, check. Not doing this one yet. This one, done, check. This one, done, check. And then you would move on to the investing. So, but it again, and that's why I put it on my ticker down below. It's going right now. At least on my screen it is. I'm ahead of you guys. No, I'm not. That's the live feed that I'm watching there. It was just on there. I put on there baby steps 1, 2, and 3, one at a time in order, and you don't do higher baby steps. You get this one done first, and you get step 2 done second, and you get step 3 done third, and you don't do any of the other ones. That's when you would start investing right there. Baby step 3B, not on the list, but that is where you would start saving a down payment. You don't do it while you're doing baby steps 1, 2, and 3. Now, steps 4, 5, and 6, you do all at the same time if they apply to you. If you don't have children, you wouldn't have to skip step 5. If you want to rent all your life, you can skip step 6 as well, and you're immediately in step 7. As long as you have no debt, have a full emergency fund, and are investing, then you're automatically in step 7. Congratulations. But yeah, no investing. While you have debt. And you don't have the full emergency fund. Got to have the full emergency fund as well. Oh, that's the question. During step 3, do you restart? Nope, you don't. Emergency opinions. Inherit an amount of money close to $1 million. Advice. The comments that say this is Reddit. Don't take advice here. I know it's just opinion. Sure. You would apply them to the baby steps. Any extra money that you get, you apply to whatever baby steps you're on. And so, say this person's normal and has debt. The $1,000 taken care of. You got $1 million. You take $1,000 out of that, throw that to the side. I mean, basically, you should be able to do all of the baby steps at the same time. This is the only time that you do them all at the same time, but you're not doing them all at the same time. You are still doing them one at a time in order. $1,000, check. You pay off any debt you have. Check. You set aside extra money for the 3 to 6 months of living expenses. I would probably do 6 in the case that you inherit $1 million. And then if you're not investing yet, then you would just immediately max out the investing, whatever investments you can qualify for. You get the inheritance. I'm trying to remember if that's... It depends on how you have that, or if that's already, like if it's an inherited Roth IRA, or if it's just cash. Let's see. Oh, okay. Hold on. All right. Oh, so he did stuff already, but anyway, I'll just keep going with what I was talking about. So you do the investing. You do at least 15%. You max out everything for the year. You put some away for kid college if that applies, and if you have a mortgage already, you would pay that off. If you don't have a house already and you want to get a house, you buy a house. And that's it. And then you're on step 7, and so now you just build wealth and give, and that $1 million can relocate your finances fairly efficiently, generally. All right, but let's see what the person did. Looking to what exactly is the best option to be very well off for the rest of my life. But it sounds like he already did things, though. All my inheritance came in one specific... Oh, stock, which will remain nameless, but that is how I was able to receive so much money. Okay? And my money will be coming in waves. How is that a wave? Are you only selling it a bit at a time? The first wave was sold about 65% of it and put about $100K in my bank account and reinvest in the Apple, Microsoft, and NVIDIA, Meta, Google, Amazon. That's your top, basically your top, all in your top 10 list, probably all in your top 7. 6, yeah. Quite evenly with a good amount. The second wave should be coming in the next couple of months. So it doesn't say anything about debt. Hopefully paid it off if had any. People tell me to use a high yield savings account, but don't. Which would be the best? Don't know maybe which one would be the best. Think about American Express high yield savings account. I know it's 4.25 instead of 5% like others, but I like how official it is. What do you mean how official it is? I don't know what that means. Let me hear your opinions. Thanks. Well, you can put it in any high yield savings account you want. And if you want to do something because you think it's official, I don't know. Does that mean because you've heard of the company American Express before and you may not have heard of some of these other online banks that offer these high yield savings accounts? Is that what you mean? Don't know. Let's see if somebody asked him about it. Dumb comments as usual. Work the baby steps, then look for other resources. Yeah. Step 1, get off Reddit. Yeah. So we don't know why. I mean, the question would be, you have a full emergency fund, so what would be the reason to not be investing this money as well? or buying a house or whatever. And so we don't have anywhere near enough information about this to give this person advice. But just as far as the high yield savings account, yeah, again, that's fine. If it's your emergency fund, you do have to have immediate access to that money. How diversified are you? Only recently started self-managing. Baby steps 4, 5, and 6 flare. Doing it right, supposedly. So far, I'm about a third each in the following ETF funds. Vuvong, VTSAX. Do you think there's too much overlap? Yeah, it's too much into EFTs. Actually, that should be ETFs, not EFT. Do you think there's too much overlap? I'm looking to save up 3,000 by VIMVIP on top of what I already have. I think those already are all index funds, and so that's not much diversity, and you're leaving money on the table. Baby step 4, flare. Dave says invest in 4 different categories, 25% each of your 15%. So you follow me? You get 15% of gross income, and you take that money, and then you divide that up into 4 equal segments. And those segments would be small cap, mid cap, large cap, and international. Is how you should do that. Okay, and buy a house in cash. Yes, you do that. If you have the money like the other person, you do that. Alrighty. We'll call it there. Bum, 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 bum. You can schedule a free financial coaching consultation with me at calendly.com/coachstevemoney and Ramsey Solutions Certified Financial Coach. You can email me about coaching or anything else on my YouTube channel, coachstevemoney@gmail.com. Donations can go to paypal.me/coachstevemoney. Alternatively, to Cash App at $CoachSteveMoney. Walmart gift card to coachstevemoney@gmail.com also as an alternative donation source. Upcoming streams, of course, this show is answering your financial questions, and that is Saturdays and Sundays at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. And the Ramsey Show After Show, there will be 2 of those this coming week, and that's going to be on Tuesday, July 23rd, and Thursday, July 25th. And that's approximately 6 p.m. It's a little bit after 6 p.m. Whenever the Ramsey Show that day ends. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it very much. There's so much content out of there, so I appreciate anybody that's watched even 1 second of my stuff. Thank you so much. And please subscribe, like, and comment, and make smart financial decisions every day.